Welcome to the NFL Pick Six. We're going to do Anthony's top 6 picks. Anthony, been very successful at NFL betting, NFL lines. I mean, you had a great year last year.
Oh, phenomenal year last year. And really the last year before that, 2 years ago, also on the winning side. And when it comes to bets, that's all you want to be, is on the plus, right? And I've done better than that. And I'm ready for another season, hoping to continue that momentum and get on this freight train and help us make some money this year. Let's go get some payouts.
I like making money. I know I made a lot of money off you last year with the 5 for 5 segment.
That's
now
right.
Called Pick Six, your weekly top 6 bets.
And we should preface this by saying it's week 1 of the NFL season. Always, always, always the toughest week to bet in the NFL season. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. It's a new year, new faces. Everything's changed. The lines are tough, but we're still bringing you the Pick Six. And at the end of the segment, I will tell you which parlays I would do and which teams I would take straight up. But we're going to start out by doing the top 6 in order, starting with the one from my least confident of my top 6 to my most confident best bet of the week.
All right, so let's kick it off. Yeah, starting with number 6, least confident of the 6, Carolina -1.5 against Cleveland.
Yes, so although it's my quote-unquote least confident, I still really like this bet. I'm taking Cleveland, the Browns, +1.5 versus Carolina at Carolina. I think that this game, although it is Baker's return to play the Browns, or really Baker's against the Browns, he's at home now in Carolina, but I just feel like the Browns are the better squad in this game, regardless of the fact that they have a backup quarterback. Nick Chubb is the reason the Browns will win. Their defense is the reason I think the Browns will win. Carolina has a lot to be excited about, but I don't think they're quite ready to get over that hump. Give me the Browns +1.5.
Yeah, the Browns certainly have the better roster, but I just think you hate Baker Mayfield.
I do. That's true.
Bias alert. Anyway, number 5. Washington -2.5 against Jacksonville.
Yes, I'm taking the Washington Commanders here, the newly minted Commanders, to win their first game, -2.5 versus Jacksonville. They're at home. I think the Washington football team last year had a very difficult struggle with their squad, with injuries, with everything that happened. This year, they have a bit more stable quarterback. They have the same roster. I like their defense, and they're playing one of the worst rosters in my mind in the NFL, although the Jags are finally rebuilding in the right direction. That's exactly what they're doing. So I'm taking the Washington Commanders -2.5 versus Jacksonville.
Interesting. I thought you would go with Trevor Lawrence, second year. We want to see that jump, but going with Carson Wentz.
Prove it.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. All right, number 4, we have the Tampa Bay -2.5 against Dallas.
Yes, this game is in Dallas, but I'm taking the Bucs -2.5. I know that the Bucs have some questions with Tom Brady missing all of camp and everything, but they still have continuity, and we're talking about Tom Brady here, so I don't have a lot to be concerned about there. However, the Dallas Cowboys and their injuries to that roster, I think, are going to be a lot more damaging. The questions of the offensive line, the questions at wide receiver. They're playing, this matchup would be premier if everybody was healthy. But the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are at a disadvantage when it comes to health, even though they're playing at home, give me the Bucs -2.5.
Yeah, I'd say this is pretty high in my confidence level. I think Dallas has that depleted roster. Tampa Bay's had that continuity. I like that one. Number 3, the New England Patriots +3.5 against the newly minted Miami roster.
Yeah, so I really like this Miami roster. I'm taking Miami -3.5 versus New England. We talked about it on our division preview show. New England has a lot of chaos going on right now in the coaching staff. Although Bill Belichick is still the head coach, nobody knows who's calling plays. You got a second-year quarterback who's confused about what's going on. His receivers underwhelmed last year. Can they do it any better this year? I'm not confident in the defense. I just think New England has a lot to prove. And on the other side, you've got the Miami Dolphins, who are one of the, prolific offenses and defense, well-balanced teams in the NFL. I'm sorry, I got to take the Dolphins here -3.5, even though this game is in New England. I'll take Miami, -3.5.
Yeah, it feels like Miami has all the pressure on them to win this game. New England doesn't play well in Miami, so I like it.
Oh, this game is in Miami. You're right. I said in New England. I meant in Miami. Yes,
Yeah,
but I'm still taking Miami, -3.5.
New England normally doesn't play in Miami. It's one of the weird stats of the NFL is they're dominant everywhere except Miami, and I'm really not sure what's going on.
Don't know, but I like it.
Shenanigans. Anyway, number 2, Chicago +7 against the 49ers.
Yes, I'm taking the 49ers -7 points in this game. I just think that they have a great roster that is going to compete in the NFL this year, the model of consistency. And on the other side, you have a struggling Chicago Bears roster with a young quarterback trying to claw their way and rebuild. But I just think that the 49ers are going to win this game by at least 10 points. So give me the 49ers -7.
Yeah, I like that one too. I mean, Justin Fields looked great in the preseason, 3 touchdowns in the short time that he played. Will that carry over? I don't see it. And number 1, most confident bet, Philadelphia -4 against the Lions. I don't know if you saw Hard Knocks, but the Lions.
I did, yes.
It got me motivated. I broke my own wall.
I actually loved it. I mean, I think the Lions, I'm high on the Lions. Go back to that division preview episode, too. I really like the Lions this year. I did finally catch Hard Knocks. I had not by the time we recorded that preview, by the way. But I like to binge watch it right before the season starts. And now I'm ready to go with this. And the Lions will get a lot of wins this season. I think more than people expect. I think they'll be good. I think they'll compete a lot more than people have thought of them in the past. But the Eagles, again, one of my favorite teams in the NFC. I think that the Eagles have a great roster. They're going to be able to utilize their weapons. The Lions just aren't quite ready for what the Eagles can throw at them, literally and figuratively in the run, too. I think here the Eagles -4 is my best bet of the week, my number 1 bet. So let's go. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's see those top 6 and see how we do in week 1.
Yeah, I love that Eagles roster. I think this is definitely a good bet. That's it for the week, folks. That's the Pick 6. Tune in every Thursday for Anthony's top 6 picks.
Yes, and I promised I would tell you that this week, what I am betting personally, I did bet the Browns +1.5. I did bet the Commanders -2.5 versus the Jags. I bet those 2 teams separately, individual bets, lower bets. The way I like to explain my 6 is you can either think of it as number 1 bet versus number 6 bet. I'm betting the most on 1 and the lower amount on 6, or that I'm going to parlay and I'm starting with the top team. So if I'm doing a 2-team parlay or 3-team parlay, I'm picking 1, 2, 3 right there. This week, I like my top 4 in a parlay here. So I'm taking the Eagles, 49ers, Miami, and the Bucks on a 4-way parlay. You never want to really go above 5 on a parlay. That's a lot more risky, even though the payout is more. But let's see how we do this week, and that's how I'm betting it of these 6.
Also, these will be posted on our social media if you need the visual. And be sure to tune in with us for week 2 next Thursday.
Toss your hat in the ring.